Keke Palmer's boyfriend decided to hop on Twitter and criticize the mother of his child publicly, responding to a tweet saying, "It's the outfit though, you a mom." After getting a ton of pushback, he released some statement talking about he has standards and morals and this is his family. I'll break this down really simply for you, Darius. We don't give a fuck that you have morals. We care that you hopped on the internet to criticize the mother of your child publicly in front of other people to try to make her look dumb. You were talking about this generation, this and that, and I actually agree with you. This generation's men is too comfortable disrespecting women in public. You have standards and morals? Is one of those standards teaching your child to disrespect his mom? I don't know your situation, but I'm gonna take a gander and say that since your woman is the breadwinner and probably takes care of you, you wanted to display your manhood in public and try to make a fool of her to make yourself look better. You don't look like a moral man, you look like a little insecure boy who needs to grow up.
See, man, this is funny, right? This is funny, man. Just for the simple fact that, men gotta understand, right? Men understand that, we pick the women that we pick the women that we choose to lay down with, right? You can't sit up here, man, and honestly think, man, any man will sit over here and look at Keke Palmer as wife material or as somebody, man, who wants to be led. Keke Palmer is a very, very masculine woman. She has a lot of masculine energy, which is why you really never seen her in a relationship. Now, a lot of times, a lot of celebrities like to keep their relationship on the low. But, for her, man, you can see the type of mannerism she has. She doesn't want to be led. She's not a traditional woman, but the traditional woman. But the fact that you still had a man say, you know what, let me deal with this woman. Let me have a child with this woman. Let me have a family with this woman. You have to then sit back and say, you know what, you're the reason, man, you're even in this situation, right? We get it. Once again, everything that he said about this generation, it's a fact, right? It's a fact. Now, this guy, the guy that pretty much made a TikTok after, I guess his name Christian or something. Hey, the dude is still missing the point. The dude is still missing the point, man. This is the type of time that we're living in, where you have people like that who jump on the internet and say crazy stuff like that. It just makes no sense. But at the same time, man, the guys gotta understand, man. You choose the woman you lay down with, right? You knew this woman was not traditional. You knew she wasn't gonna sit over here and let a man lead. You knew she wasn't gonna take no backseat to anything. She exudes masculine behavior, right? Once again, for women like that, you can't deal with, right? Women like that, you can't even think about having kids with, man, because number one, they're not going to allow you to be a man in a relationship. You see how everybody else getting upset with you? They don't want to sort of here and jump towards your tweets, right? It's just funny, man, because these people won't bring this stuff out before. But because you sat here and said, you know what, hey, listen, ma'am, you're a mother, you're in your 30s, are you still dressing how you're dressing, right? Women do not care about that stuff today, right? So this is why you literally have to pick me, right? A lot of you women call women pick me. There's nothing wrong with pick me's. I'd rather have a pick me than an independent chick who claims to be a boss babe and have 30 kids or by 20 different men, or goddamn freaking be a boss babe and be 30s and the 40s with masculine energy and swear up and down, that they, I'm a boss chick. I'm a boss man. Stop it, all right? I'd rather have a pick me. I'd rather have somebody, man, who's saying, hey, man, listen, I'm willing to take the back seat. I'm willing to let my man lead. Y'all look at Angela Bassett. Right? This is a good example of two different generations. You look at Angela Bassett, you look at her relationship, you look at her marriage with her husband, right? She makes way more than that man. Right, but at the end of the day, you don't ever hear her in the news. You don't see her dressing, man, like she's about to go to the strip club, like you see Keke Palmer doing, and like you see a lot of these other women doing, man, that's in their 20s and 30s. You don't see that, right? You don't see her, man, sitting over here, man, embarrassing her husband, right? You don't see her doing anything disrespectful to her family, to the family that she made, right? You don't see her, man, sitting over here trying to take lead in a relationship, in her marriage. You don't. The man takes lead. The man runs that relationship. She makes all the money. She's the breadwinner. But guess what? She knows her role. Your woman, man, a lot of you women that's in the 20s and the 30s, they don't know their role. A lot of these women don't even care to know their role. They don't want to know their role. They want to be able to be equal or lead a relationship. And women can't lead a relationship. That's just a fact, right? That's just a fact. And once again, right, if you are a woman, you're dealing with a man and he's not leading the relationship, and you're the one that's wearing the pants of the relationship, that relationship is doomed to fail. It's a fact, right? You look at this right here. You look at this relationship with him saying that, and with all that going on. I promise you, man, this relationship ain't gonna last. That relationship is not gonna last. So it's just gonna be another black woman that's more likely gonna become a single mother. And I'm calling it. This is something that I want to see. No, right? Because I don't have problems with Keke Palmer. I don't have issues with Keke Palmer. I actually love the type of person that she is. I love the type of actor she is. But to sit over here and say that she's marriage material, to sit over here and say that, you know what, hey, to sit over here and say, you know what, I can see myself marrying this woman and having kids with this woman, you're tripping. You're tripping because you're setting yourself up for failure as a man. And now look at you, right? So you sit over here and say something, right? Because we're not living in a generation of women who want to be traditional. You're living in a generation of women who want to be a bunch of single mothers and want to lead relationships and want to have it their way. It doesn't work that way, right? You put yourself in that situation to deal with a woman like that, right? So now you have to deal with what you're dealing with. And it's, like I said, it's just funny that, once again, a lot of your women was praising this man and Keke Palmer. The same woman the same black woman that was praising this man is the same black woman and the same beta males that's sitting over here pulling up these tweets and trying to sit over here and say, yeah, you're insecure about yourself. And that's another thing, right? You have a lot of people who sit up here and say, well, you're insecure if you don't allow your woman to dress this way. You're insecure if you don't allow your woman to do this, do that. How am I insecure because I'm trying to protect my relationship? How am I insecure because I'm putting boundaries in my relationship? This is how a lot of your modern day women interpret control. Hey, well, you know, he's trying to be controlling. He's trying to tell me what I can and can't wear. Well, you know, this and that. Stop it, right? Stop it. As a woman, if you know your man doesn't like that, don't do that. And then at the same time, have some self-respect. Put some clothes on. And what's funny is Osei Duke Jackson has been calling this out. This man is broke and he's damn living up under this woman. She's taking care of him, right? It's not going to work out. And now look at him. It's not going to work out. It's not going to work out. And Osei Duke Jackson called it out. Do not get me wrong. I do agree with people saying, man, you know, you shouldn't air out your woman in public. And that is a fact, right? That is a fact. You shouldn't air out your woman in public. You shouldn't air out your man in public. Now, it's funny, man, because these same women, these same men, these same beta males, and these same women do not sit over here and say, hey, why are you women calling out your baby fathers, calling out your boyfriends, calling out your husbands? You don't hear women saying that. You don't ever hear women saying that. You don't ever hear these dudes like this dude Christian saying that, right? But they're only going to say it for women. They're only going to say it for your sisters. Why? Because guess what? Women can do whatever they want to do and nothing happens, right? This is a double standard. But at the end of the day, as a man, you chose this. This is what you chose. This is what you're going to have to live with.